Lake Jocassee, located in the northwestern corner of South Carolina, translated from the Cherokee language, this is the place of the lost one. And if one is looking to wonder, then certainly Lake Jocassee and the surrounding gorges are the perfect place to go. My day began at the local watering hole where I and my compatriots decided to come together. A Dodge, a Jeep, and a Toyota, respectively. Isn't that a pretty lineup? In the Ram was my good friend, Tauntaun. The handsome devil driving the Toyota, that's Adam. And embarrassingly, there I am. Of course, I brought my best friend, there's Dog. Selecting only the finest fuel grades, we decided to top off our tanks before getting on the road. We made a short detour through a neighborhood to pick up a good friend of ours along the way. The millionaire sitting on a tailgate there? That's Blake. Say hi. His wife was nice enough to pack us sandwiches as well. Thank you, Miss Aiken. We love you. From there, we made our way towards Rocky Bottom, South Carolina. More specifically, just north of Rocky Bottom, towards the Foothills Trail access, relatively easily found on any map. Most of the roadways are easy to take, except keep in mind you're going into the mountains at this point, so it's going to twist and turn somewhat. Not too bad, though. You'll notice you get close to Rocky Bottom, of course, when you hit the infamous Rocky Bottom sign. Just a little further ahead, there are better landmarkers. To the right, you're going to notice Sassafras Mountain, and to the left, a cabin. Just traverse a little further ahead for a while longer, and soon you're going to make it to your destination. Eyes open, as once you make it to the bridge, it's an immediate left to the Foothills Trail. See? I didn't lie. It's the Foothills Trail. It's a beautiful place to stop and take a look. Any other day we might just be here only, but there's a bigger adventure ahead. For those not aware, when you first come here, don't go to the left. Take Horse Pasture Road on the right. That's up the mountain. Taking the mountain road upward, we curved around the first of many, many bends. You'll notice immediately on the left is the actual entrance to the foothills. Any other day it's a great place to stop, but for us, we were making our way further, up to the very peak itself. It's hard to want to actually slow down out here, but please be cautious. You're not the only person on the road. Overall, you're going to find this to be a nice, easy, and beginner's trail. It's relatively friendly. Best of all, you've also got the foothills trails out in this area, which are accessible to many. It's a great place to come backpacking either for a week-long or just a day-long trip. Best of all, this is almost paved, in my opinion. It's a gravel road, and it does have a few sharp inclines and declines, but overall, you're going to have a beautiful time, unless it's raining. You might find it hard to actually keep your eyes on the road, just looking at the many waterfalls and the natural vegetation and the countless scenic overlooks. It's really quite tempting. So, naturally, being oh so inclined to this temptation, me and my fellow travelers decided it was best to pull over and take a break. This particular waterfall is an excellent area to stop and stretch your legs. Although getting to the top of it is a bit of a steep climb, fortunately for me, my dog was at hand to pull me. This is a great place to come and take a look at the S-curves going up and down the mountain. Further, if you have it all to yourself, it's a great place for pictures and to relax. You'll find yourself surrounded by pine, cypress, and of course magnolia. Even better, if you come just below the major rock formation, you'll actually find a cavern. This is an excellent place to come and relax, and grab some fresh water. Hello, gentlemen. Of course, the dog and I also couldn't help but get a photo opportunity in. But soon, we were back on the road and heading up further. The only note I have here is that this song on the radio is great, and I miss Jerry Reed very much. If you happen to not like twists and turns and gravel roads, then naturally this area is not for you. However, we found it to be a heaven. We took turns in the lead, and we never missed the opportunity to jump a bump and or just crest more hills. Overall, this is fun, though we do suggest that you run a 4x4 if you're going to be in this area. At this time, it is necessary for me to point out that the speed limit, or suggested speed, in this area is 15 miles per hour, and for the safety of those around you, it is suggested that you adhere to this. Aside from vehicular traffic, you'll also see horses, ATVs, and four-wheelers, the general hitchhiker, and people on bicycles. Further, there are several areas where campers can be seated, as can be seen here to the right. Although there are multiple campsites throughout this area, this particular area, aptly named Campsite, happens to have one of the best views around. Further, there's plenty of space for parking, camping, pitching up, and getting cozy. You can see many before I've also had this great idea. But please take a moment to enjoy the veranda. Nature surrounds you, and this is one of the perfect places to wake up in the morning and go to sleep. Unfortunately, we're not on a camping trip, we're driving up a mountain. Going over a few more bumps until finally crescendoing down into a slow, we came to a steady stop as we had reached our destination. It's quite easy to notice you've made it thanks to the DNR sign stating the title, Jumping Off Rock. Further, the actual trail leading up is small and easily accessible, minus the fact that you need a car to get to this area. It's well worth the time as this is the key view of the day. Further, the natural beauty of it all is breathtaking. I'll go silent for a moment and let you enjoy this. It is absolutely critical to preserve the natural beauty of this area. It's home to a variety of wildlife, flora, and fauna. Thankfully, a great deal of this was made possible by a Dr. James Timmerman, who made it possible to view and see this beautiful natural area. As a mission-critical note, it is very important to bring up that this is the peregrine falcon nesting area. This warning should be adhered to, as Lake Jocassee formerly was the home of the Carolina parakeet, the only parrot native to North America, which sadly went extinct fully by 1939. Let us avoid this mistake for future generations to come. At this point in our journey, it was time to enjoy the finer accoutrements of life. In this case, a deli sandwich. Thank you, Miss Aiken. We love you. Some of us enjoyed our meal in the caravan style of old, while others preferred to sit out and enjoy a more scenic view. After all, how often do we get to eat at the Applebee's with a view like this? As a further note, I would like it listed out that I am not a cruel owner by any means, and I ensured that my animal got the finest food and water available. My dog is a good girl, and she deserves this. On this particular day, we had exceptionally good fortune, as the gate leading down to the Jocassee Peninsula was open. Generally, you won't find this to be the case, so we made our way down the trail. For the sake of time, I'm speeding this up. We didn't actually go this fast, I promise, Mom. Please take time to also enjoy several of the scenic overlooks on the way down. They're truly worth it. The drive down is fairly bumpy, so enjoy the roller coaster ride, but at the same time, don't go too crazy here. The likelihood of flying off a cliff would indeed ruin your vacation. I promise, I have experience in this area. When you reach the fork in the road, please remember, take a right turn, not left. If you want to see the peninsula, go right. Drive down to the peninsula and the related beachhead takes roughly 20 minutes. And again, it's all beautiful, it's all very enjoyable. But please remember, we're only speeding this footage up. Don't actually drive at these speeds. It would be impressive, but please don't. At the end of a roughly 3-mile drive, you'll have reached the peninsula. And this here, my friends, in my opinion, is what truly makes this S.C.A.R alternate worth visiting. This is what happens when you mix the beach, Gilligan's Island, and the mountains all together in one. Parking here is limited, so if you want to enjoy it, get here early and get here at the right time of season. But that said, it's absolutely gorgeous. The water in and of itself is surprisingly clear for an area which is often noted for having the brown water navy. There are several beachheads that can be explored. Please take your time and be careful in these areas as it can be slippery and conditions change constantly based upon season and rainfall. That all said, I myself couldn't help but want to go out and explore. This area is truly natural beauty. Even better, I've found it to be rather relaxing and tranquil. I'm going to go silent for a moment, just enjoy the lapping of the water. Although I do not claim to be an expert in the Cherokee language, perhaps this sense of being isolated, but at the same time comfortable, is why they call it the place of the lost one. If we are lost, then truly, in this area, one is lost in paradise. In conclusion, this is a beautiful place to come and visit. Please be respectful, but come early, come often, and protect this natural beauty. After that period of tranquility, it was time to open up the engines again and make our way home. Now, we gotta go uphill and again, bumped all the way. Please keep in mind if you're out here that the road in dry conditions is particularly dusty due to red clay and some of the areas having new gravel patch thrown over them. That all noted, it's an absolute ball. Just put it in four-wheel drive and gun it. Now, what are our closing thoughts on this adventure?
Well, hello there, dear viewer. I'm so very happy to see you out here on the mountain. Be careful, I almost hit you. Now tell me, are you ready for this week's Eager Beaver After Action Hour report? I hope so. We're so happy you could join us this week, and we've had an absolutely splendid time here at the Jumping Off Rock Overlook. This is really a beautiful place. Again, it's fun for the whole family. And if you're a beginner, you're very welcome here. When we were out here, we saw a variety of vehicles, including four-wheelers, Jeeps, stock pickups. We even had the privilege of seeing someone outright walking. Really, this is relatively safe, unless, of course, you want to drive off a cliff. We always advise safety, but really, unless you're going to go crazy, this is fine. As you know, we always preach safety, so please consider bringing your skateboards, a winch, and a jack, and of course spare tools, tire, chain, and accessory depending on your mode of transport. That said, we had next to no need for it. Something we would like to bring up is that due to the incredibly dry conditions of the day, dust was high, so if you're an asthmatic or have respiratory issues, please bring the necessary precautionary items to take better care of yourself. Now, when you come on a trip like this, I would highly advise that you always bring with you some of the essentials, which, naturally, I'm happy to share with you here, would be water to prevent from dehydration and good cleaning, and of course, backup supply of food. Coming out here to Jumping Off Rock has shown, especially with friends, that near any vehicle can make it out here with the right mindset. From something like this stock Jeep, from this slightly modified Dodge Ram, and even this incredibly beautiful Toyota Tacoma. This S.C.A.R alternate known as Jumping Off Rock is the perfect place to come with friends and family or solo. There's so much available to you, from its beautiful hiking trails to the epic view of Lake Jocassee. The privacy at the peninsula and the several camping sites are an absolute haven for nature lovers and conservationists alike. We actively encourage you to come out here and see such beauty in person yourself, because the camera just doesn't do it justice. Sorry, cameraman. All of that said, please come out here and visit the beautiful state of South Carolina. And thank you again. We look forward to seeing you next week. And as always, dear viewer, like and subscribe if you enjoy our content and want to see more. Thank you.
Until next time, dear viewer, this is the Eager Beaver signing off.